Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Looks like we're beginning to get a little pump here, a little rotation down here. We'll try something. We'll just see if we can get a little piece of some action here. Sorry, guys, had a little bit of a delay here getting things rolling. All right. Good morning. Good morning. So a little bit of a tech issue here today. Was trying to get some things set up here with the stream, so didn't have really time to jump on a little earlier as I would have liked. But let's get ready for the session, guys. Let's just take a quick look at what's going on, where we're at with things. So we'll just take a look at higher time frame chart first. We're right at put support. Couple things you want to note for those that are inside the dashboard. We've already put out today's outlook. We put it out earlier here today, but let's just take a quick glance at it before the market opens. So we're in negative gamma right now. Important levels that we want to be paying attention to: 27,939s. Also, obviously 28,000s. That's where we're at right now. So if we start accepting above that, then we'll be looking for targets higher. So 28,100 would be the initial targets, all the way up to 250s. If we continue to start breaking down, if we continue to reject put support, then we'll be looking for a retest of yesterday's low. All the gamma levels here posted. You can go ahead and take a screenshot if you like. You can see it here: major call resistance, put support, volatility threshold. Our expected move today is going to be the lows 27,770s, and then the high would be 28,642. All right, so let's take a look and see how we begin to unfold here. So right now, what I'm watching is how we have been rejecting off put support. So it was support here yesterday. We came into that. That ended up being the low from yesterday. And then you could see how we ended up getting buyers to step right back in. And then we had a pretty nice rotation to the upside. From there, we found some resistance at 200. So that's going to be our level we'll also be paying attention to here today, since that was a level that did create this meaningful sell-off in Globex. Okay, and then overnight, you can see we have this nice little structure where we've been trending lower, and then now we've been inside this consolidation. So right now, we're kind of inside this this cage, if you will, this range. So we don't know which way we're going to break. We don't know which way we're going to go, but the main thing is just to be aware of it, so that way you understand kind of the main levels where we've been failing. So you can see every time we get a closure above, we get back under. Here, same thing, the price 27,900. So we close under, we immediately reclaim. So these are our support levels and resistance levels currently while we're in this range. Okay, so just have that marked out on your chart. And so right now, when we start approaching the midpoint here, you can see we're beginning to try to trade through this low. We've got a fractal here, swing low here. So they may use this as it's kind of like a magnet for price. So it could be a situation where we get this low, this high, they sweep that low and they take it back higher, or they could completely just exhaust here and then we end up taking out that low and we'll be looking for the expected move to the downside for the session. So we're already in a trade right now. I just took this scalp off this failed W. Okay, so we have a W pattern here for Rajesh. If you're on here, there you go, buddy. This is that thing that we spoke about in our session yesterday. So the W, boom, but we failed. And we want to be aware because we've had multiple failures here at the 25 level. Same thing happened here. We get the little ding, boom, and then they pull back and then they fail, right? So multiple failures there. We're sitting right now at 100 ticks. Let's see if we end up catching this thing. Let's see if we can catch this thing as we begin to start pumping lower. What time is it? We got 3 minutes left. Good morning, everybody. As you guys are jumping on, hit that like button. Hit that. I'm going to start the day with a nice little 100-tick scalp there, guys. I'm going to take that scalp for 100 ticks. Even if it does want to keep selling off, it's fine. We're negative gamma today. We have some high IV. ATR is looking healthy. I think we're going to see some pretty big moves just like we did yesterday. What do we got on the calendar here for today? Nothing significant. Oh, we do. 10 a.m. Consumer confidence at 10 a.m. So we got to be aware of that going into the 10 a.m. Earnings today, after hours. Nothing significant, nothing in tech really. So I'm not too worried about it. I don't think we have Trump slated to speak here today. And coming into the market, we have market on open data showing us that, actually, let's just share that monitor here. So you'll see everything is looking pretty bearish at the moment. So the Max 7 is bearish, but this can change here over the next few moments. So we'll just watch what happens. So right now we see the big sells right now are Apple, AMD, Nvidia, pretty much all the important tech companies. So we should be seeing some heaviness here in the market, obviously, but we will just continue to do what we do. We don't get locked into our bias. The main thing is just understanding, like, hey, this is the backdrop, but what we actually trade is what's on the chart, right? So we got to remember that what we trade is what's on the chart. What we trade is what's on the chart. And then let's take a look here. That's a mentor Q. So we could see our highest negative GEX level here is 28,000. So as we start trading through this level, we may start seeing some acceleration, right? So we might see some violence. And honestly, we've been pinning this level since yesterday. So we haven't technically cleared 28,000. So we're going to see what happens here when we open. Currently testing the, do I have the big Renko chart on here? I do. Perfect. We've got, we're currently testing under the 4-hour opening price of 6 a.m. There's the open. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, everybody. There's price trying to recover here on that pushed lower. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold 950s here. So you can see them popping right here, the opening price. We've already reclaimed the opening price, spent no time under the 930 opening price. So pretty energetic move right off the open. But let's see as we now begin to start pulling back here. Got a little bit of a slight lag here on my monitor, FYI. So my chart's about 2 seconds lagging at the moment. Okay, now we're back. Now we're back. We're back under the opening price. We'll see if they continue to contain that, if they can hold. Okay. Building some negative GEX right now. Where's our major positive? There is nothing yet. We got to wait like a minute or two, and then we'll start seeing where these levels start populating here. Okay. So sellers have taken out that low. So let's see if they're going to now accept below. What kind of breakout are we going to have? Is it going to be just like yesterday? Look at that. Yesterday they took out the low and it was just gone, right? So maybe the same thing's going to happen here today. Good morning, guys. Good morning. You're just jumping on the stream. Let's take a look at that 15-minute chart real quick. So we can see now they've taken out that swing low structure. So we've got a scenario here where we had an outside bar and now we have a trend bar. So we're trading below this low. So this right here, this candle has no wick. So there's a possibility that ends up being kind of like the magnet there. They may want to come and repair that. So we'll just watch what happens. You know, we're just going to take it one step at a time. So we've got a nice little pullback. There's our major positive now. So 27,924s. We're underneath 925s. Let's see if they're going to use this level here. We've gotten pretty extreme. There's the red dot. Let's see if they break out again. Are they going to break out again? Let's see what kind of selling aggression we have here at the open. Yeah, look at that. They're breaking out. Let's see if they continue to commit to this move. Remember, every single breakout is going to be one of two types. It's either going to be a committed breakout or a flaky breakout, right? A fake breakout, flaky. So we are expanding through that low 900s, 27,900. So we are expanding lower. 15-minute is staying pretty bearish here. We are seeing now we're approaching this low, the bottom of the range. So remember what we talked about, how this level at 27,900, we have not been able to accept underneath. So let's see if they can finally do it here. If we end up being able to get some closure through these lows here, then the expected low, 27,777, would make sense. Let's throw on our lug levels as well. It's definitely worth noting where we're at in relationship to our lug level. So we're actually right at our big blue lug level. That level is at 27,874s. So we totally want to be aware of that because that is major support. So we're testing now on the Renko chart here. You're seeing we got a little pop. We reclaimed 900s. So that's kind of expected because that's what they technically have been doing all night long. But the market seems pretty heavy. So let's see if they're going to fail that pullback we get this little move here to this rotation line here. This is going to then create a new rotation to the downside. So right now we're currently in an up rotation, right? But if we hit this then begins to form another leg. But the question then becomes, when we form that other leg, do we get a lower low or do we print a higher low, right? So we'll see here as they begin to start consolidating or in and around 900s. This is when we can like pull up the book map and then watch what happens with the volume and how they trade in and around the levels. So ATR now is at 88, so it's pretty healthy so far. Where's our positive GEX? It's 28,000, so back up here we have positive, major positive, way up there. Where's our major negative? Where's our zero gamma? Zero gamma's down here. Okay, there's the dot. Let's see if they end up creating a new low. Will they create a new low? I'm very weary about shorting here at this level because this has been the failure point, right? All night long, they have not been able to close under 900s. I'm not saying they can't do it right now, but the entry would have been earlier, right? The entry would have been earlier. So for me, that entry would have been probably technically right here on this reclaim, on this continuation dot, or right over here. But then we've already hit the level. We went under the level. This is why I'm concerned, because we already went under it. You guys can't see that. Hold on. We went under that level and we immediately pop right back above. I'm not saying they're going to do that again, but they already did it once and they've been doing it all night long. So I'm just going to be very cautious with that level. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a buyer either. So let's just take a look. They're putting an offer here for 183 contracts. We got a strong close down here. Let's see if they're going to take out 75s. We can see them beginning to base below. This could be one of these beach ball underwater type scenarios, or these guys can commit and we get total displacement through these lows. It seems pretty heavy, guys. So we'll see if we get that breakdown. So trade one so far, 100 ticks. That was from the open. There's the reclaim dot. Let's see if they're going to hold that. I'll try scalp. We'll try a scalp here. It looks like we might be failing here, boys. Let's see. They can't stay above. Let's see. Who knows? Watching. We didn't get a break yet, so there we go. Let's see if we get an M. There's our W. Can we get that follow through? Rajesh, there's our W. Let's see if we can get that follow through. Boom, 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 boom. Is there follow through? No. Got some lag. 2 seconds here. Watch the book map. Failing back under. There's the dot. And that is a pretty big failure, gang. I'm cutting that trade. Cutting that trade for a 25-point loss. So basically what I made, I just lost. All good in the hood. It did not hold up. And that's a big sign. So that's a failed up. Buyers failed there and immediately got knocked out. Wow, very good. So that means that we are probably going to take out these lows. So we'll just continue to wait and see what happens here. So that move right there had the potential. We hit almost like 40 ticks, 50 ticks of profit, but did not get that follow through after the high. So they've trapped here. And then we got that, boom, trap. And then they took out the low. So now we're back in bearish rotation here. So sellers are definitely in control at the moment, but again, still testing this level here. And that's kind of why I was willing to give it a shot. We're pretty much at a major level down here. And so I figured, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe they will pop it, right? Alrighty. So we can see price now breaking through 75s. Is that the main level? Right here's the level. I'd say about 850s. 850s. There we go. Should have shorted that thing, bro. I should have just waited for the continuation, but all good. Alrighty, let's pull back up our stuff here. Wow. Jeez, SpaceX is bleeding out big time, huh? Feel sorry for retail. I think single stock future starts trading pretty soon, or I think it's the end of the month, or is it today? That's going to be interesting. Anybody plan on trading single stock futures? Let's see. Deep negative, gamma flows are negative. Everything is negative right now. Actually, 0DTE is bullish. The flows are bullish. That's interesting. What I'm basing that on is my Dex AI here. You guys can't see that. Let me put my head out the way. There we go. So this is showing us that the flows are technically they flip bullish at 935, but market structure is negative. So we got some divergence in flows and versus price action. So let's see how it ends up unraveling here today, guys. Market is selling off now. That 15-minute candle is beginning to trade pretty aggressively below the overnight lows, and it looks like we are going to the expected move, the expected low for the session here. ES is also beginning to get some aggression down here, but they are we are right at our HVL level on ES, so 74.40s. We'll see what happens with that. So right now it looks like the QQQs are being drawn to 670s. That's where the POC is. So moves down, amplified. There's no floor. So we should start seeing this begin to move pretty quickly. So that would have been a fantastic short. So that would have been a great short trade right there. And you know, the other part too, they spent quite a bit of time you know, in that range, right? And put support from overnight session. They spent a lot of time up here, right? I mean, all night long. So they did enough business up in this area, and we failed to accept above. Single bar closures, immediate failure, right? And so, of course, this was just a matter of time. And this is the last part of it. You could just even see the last 30 minutes, this candle here. The buyers could not even get a close back above put support. That's how weak they were at that point. So we end up getting this nice trap and then continuation lower. All right, looks like we might be getting a little poppy pop. So we got a reclaim of 800s. Is 800s a significant level? Not necessarily. It's a GEX 2. It's a GEX 2 level. Let's see. We'll see. We probably get continuation here, but cannot short this last 3-4 minutes of the 15-minute candle after a big move like that. Can't short these lows. Let's see if we get some pop here. We get a pop. We got some supply up overhead. Let's see if we get to these areas here. But sellers did push pretty aggressively into these lows. There's the dot for continuation. Let's see if they do give the continuation move. Big volume just came in right there again on both sides. So we are beginning to battle at 800. We're seeing order flow activity. So we had 400 for sale, 300 that just got bought. So right now we can see that there is some large activity going on here right at the 800 level. We got news in 15, FYI, so just be aware of that. So there, you know, right now we got that nice low. Looks like they're going to try to take out this high. Let's see if they're able to do so. Or they can continue lower here. So we'll see if these buyers are going to, if this is a true, meaningful participation here. So let's see. These sellers are going to try to slam this right here. Okay, there's 800s. We're back under. Are they going to push down? Let's see. There is the break. There is that break. There's that continuation move. Do they squeeze through 770s? 777. 777. It's a lot of sevens in that price. I'm going to increase the marker sizes here. Nasdaq is down 1%. Yeah, down 1%. So we've already exceeded our one-day range expected move. So we are now under our one-day minimum. What a nice big sell-off here today. What a nice move here today. We're just watching now. can't jump in at this moment. It's too gone, right? And we only have about a minute and a half left. It's kind of what happened yesterday, right? Same thing happened. We immediately just sold off and then just kind of waited and waited. And then I think I did the same thing. I was trying to get these reclaims yesterday and then got cut up, but then eventually I started scalping my way back and then ended up catching the banger at the end, break even, right? On that. So it worked out pretty good. But this is now pretty aggressive. So we'll see now after this move if they give us another one of those moves or if we end up consolidating for a bar or two. You know, usually after a big expansion like that, we'll probably see some type of sideways action for a little bit going into the news. So when they do that, that gives us opportunities to scalp both sides. So we're just waiting right now because, I mean, look at that big extension here on the Renko chart. That Renko chart gave us a pretty significant move from the dot. That would have been the entry. What would that have been? So entry on that dot, that's about 336 ticks. There's the pullback. There's the pullback. They're trying to begin the upward rotation. Are they going to reclaim the expected move or the one-day minimum? Are they going to reclaim that? I don't think so. Let's see if we get another push lower here as we close the first 15-minute candle, guys. So see, they're going to immediately break through the opening range low. Let's see if they're going to be able to do that. Okay, there's the opening range low set at 27,728. And it looks like they're going to get that immediate push to that low. Are they going to do it? I'm sure they are. There's the book map. There's the book map. Get my head out the way. Maybe I just shrink my camera real quick so that way I'm not interfering with the charts. There we go. That's much better. Hopefully there's not as much lag on the YouTube stream. I did make some adjustments. I know that there was some pretty big lag on that. So hopefully everything looks kosher now. So so they definitely just knocked out that opening range low. So you see the 750, they got above the 750, boom, that's what we want to see. And then we get back below, that's what we want to see. That's the type of structure. So you see these V's and A's, like that's literally all we're doing with the Renko charts off the key levels with our bias. We're just waiting for price to get above a level. Boom, get back under the level and look for the dot. So we just wait for another V now. I mean, this thing's continuously pushing. We're trading way below, or we're getting way below the opening, the one-day minimum. Take a look at that hourly chart. That hourly chart is gone. It is gone. So the next level on the hourly would be 27,500s. If we can accept under 750s, then that would be the next area that I'd be watching for here on the hourly chart. That's my hourly chart right there, guys. So you can see we've broken out of this range. We're now beginning to probe under 750s. We'll see if we accept underneath. If we do, then we could see that next rotation all the way down to 750 or 27,500s. So the migration basically for the week has been we pushed up into 750, 28,750. Once we closed under the weekly open, the weekly candle now became bearish. We then found some support around 800s, right? We based there yesterday pretty much all day. And then all night we were basing right there at 28,800s, which was put support. And now we're beginning to break out some more. So we got this move down, went sideways, and now we have the next move down. So let's see, you know, it's just pretty straightforward price action here. Maybe we get this measured move back down to 400s, something like that. And unfortunately, I am not in any trades. So we're just waiting right now because it's hard for me to participate in these type of moves. I can't be chasing. So then I also don't want to be in a situation where I'm trying to catch bearish failures or reclaims, right? Because when the market's so heavy in one directional, you don't really get those slingshot moves in the opposite direction. That's a pretty nice pop, but is it enough? We got news in 10 minutes. So this might be the pullback before we go into news. There is news, right? Did I say that right? Did I see that date right? Let's pull that up just to make sure. Today's the 28th. Yes, okay, we do. Yeah, we got some news here today, 10 o'clock. And then Trump is talking at 11. All right, look at that big move here. So now we got some nice rotation here. So we'll be watching this area here on the Renko chart. Let's get rid of this. So you see how we have this structural swing. So now we know that this area here, 750, has been a failure level. And then below hand, now we got a failure swing from below, so 675, right? So be paying attention to that, right? That's failure where we, boom, buyers tried, they got stuck. And then right here, we could see the buyer, the sellers tried, got stuck. Plus, we had all this volume here. I mean, tons of volume came in and around that level. We're beginning to reclaim the opening range low. Let's see if they're going to be able to get back inside. We're now beginning to push and rotate. 5 minute is now beginning to look like a failure, a failed trend bar. That's a very nice rotation there. So I do want to see something like this, because this is the kind of market that I do really well at since I'm a scalper. Is not just like a market that just starts dropping right away. I need markets to like kind of mess around both sides, give me meaningful pullbacks, you know, so we can mess around and get people off sides. But we'll see here if they're going to be able to use this as support. It's the first pullback. And the pullback succeeded, right? So the buyers got their first pullback. They succeeded. We're now approaching the 1 day minimum and zero gamma. They're going to try to reclaim zero gamma here. Let's see. So we're back above zero gamma. Pretty nice rotation there. So now we've broken structure, and now we're bullish, but we're going into news. So, you know, the thing, guys, honestly, is like you just can't trade everything that moves. And sometimes if you're scalping, there's a reclaim. Let's see if that's going to hold up here. The first pullback succeeded, but let's see if this next one does too. So they pulled back, they're pulling back again. Just watch it here, because we did reclaim this level, so there could be a continuation lower from here. Yeah, that would have been the scalp right there, right off that failure of the 1 day min. Let's see. Got that deep pullback here to the mid. Are they going to hold this, or are we going to get continuation lower here? So the buyers will need to start stepping up here if they're going to try to maintain this rotation. So they succeeded on a single pullback right here, but they've already failed now. So that's it. Let's see. I think we're going to be going into what we call a Johnny Cage, where they start trapping both sides coming into news. So what that basically means is like they'll break out the high, so sellers get trapped, but then they're going to also break out pivots to the low, so the buyers get trapped, so no one makes any money in this type of structure. There's that dot. Let's see if they're going to be able to take back control here and reclaim. So then we have a failed breakdown. Let's see. Gonna watch the book map for that. 725 is the level. Big rejection here on the 5 minute. Now we're consolidating. There's our consolidation. Buyers reclaim. But will they sustain? Rajesh, do you see that on the 1 minute chart? You should look at your 1 minute chart, Rajesh, from our conversation yesterday. You look at that structure here. I'll kind of outline it really quick on this 1 minute chart here. You see that swing here? We got a 2, 2, 2, right? We were trading above this high. That's the fractal. So a lot of times what they'll do before they actually get bearish and sell off, they're going to start creating these swing lows first, because that is fuel for the move. So you'll see them start doing stuff like this first, and that's usually what we want to wait for to get short. So when the time comes, they use all these swing lows as liquidity. So there we go. They're going to start to try to take out that low right now. Let's see if they can actually succeed in doing so. There it is. They just took out that swing low. So whenever you see a swing low form like that in a downtrend, Just know they're going to end up breaking that out. They're going to end up using that. So now we got a really big structure here on the Renko chart. Rajesh, what do you see here on the Renko chart? What's that? All right. We'll see. But the problem is the timing of it right now, right? We got the news in 7 minutes. So we just need to chill a little bit. Just wait a little bit. Cool off. Cool off. You can scalp, but just be cautious because right now this is a two-sided market at the moment. Exactly. It's a two-sided market at the moment. Where are we at with our levels? We're just pinning right underneath the opening range low. Not much happening here, guys, at the moment, which is expected going into the news. The news, right? The news is the catalyst. Let's get rid of some of the levels here. Let's kind of clean things up. So 27,700 on the 1 minute chart. You can see that we've not been able to break underneath it. We're at our yellow lug level. Let me kind of get that off the chart real quick. I want to focus in on the major levels first. Let's drop this one. Okay, so right now we are stuck between 75 or 750, so I should say a 1 day minimum at 7777, right? So 7777, and then right now would be our 700 level, major level here. Let's just drop that right there, 27,700. So we're now beginning to try to break underneath. We just broke the structure here, but we got news in 5 minutes, so I'd be very cautious. I'd be very cautious about taking any action at the moment. You're building a pretty large structure here, so just let it do its thing until the news. We gotta wait for the news, the next 30-minute auction. So this 30-minute auction is pretty straightforward. I mean, the sellers just took complete control. They had control the entire time up until about 9:45, and then we started seeing some buying coming in, and it could either be buying or it could simply be profit taking. Or Josh, that would have been technically the confirmed entry right here on this dot, right? That would have been it right there. So boom, 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 wait for the green, wait for the red, there you go, right? And that would have actually pulled back about 50 ticks, right? But that's about a 200 tick profit right there. Yes. So right now we're break even on the session so far. Had a 25 tick win. Sorry, 25 point winner, 25 point loser. Scratch on the day so far, but the day is young. Max loss is always 50 points. I don't really have a max profit necessarily. It's just more about time. So depending on what time it is, that's going to either be where I stop the trading or I just, depending on if I hit my max loss, then it's over. So as long as within that like 2.5 hour window, if I'm killing it, if I get into flow, if I can get into flow, then I just keep pushing until time is done. Then I'll jump back in again in the afternoon after lunch hour. There's the failure swing. All right, boys, let's see what they're doing here. Look at the 1 minute chart. They're having a hard time accepting underneath 700s. So we got this news here in 2.5 minutes. So I'm just watching here as we begin to start forming two-sided trading here. We got, we have this break here, but then now we're forming this swing low here. So watch this low right here. See if they're gonna break it. We got a nice little M forming here on the Renko chart. Let's see if they end up breaking this M here. That would be the break, the dot for the before the break, but you got news coming up, so you got to be very cautious unless you want to take that scalp. That would be the scalp right there, but I'm not taking anything till after 10. Part of it is too, just kind of watching here. Let's put that 75 quarter on real quick. And 50s. There we go. There's the mid. So we've gotten no closure through 50s, and we've basically been only able to close one time under 75s. 675s. you guys don't have that on your chart, like, I mean, there's a ton of free indicators you could use to get that plotted. Obviously, we have our own that we've coded, but it's a pretty simple indicator. It's pretty much just plotting every 25 points on the NQ. If you're using it for ES, I think it might be like every 5 points, about every 5 points on the ES. You'll be amazed. You don't need you'll be amazed at how effective it is to use that as your gauge for directional bias and continuation and when the market begins to shift. So Rajesh, did you see that, how that played out? Do you see how that played out, Rajesh? So notice how we had this low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, and then they broke it, right? So that little dot was basically that's how you could enter before the break, right? So when we get close like that, then that's how you could get a pre-entry. And then the key is the level here, the 700. Remember how I talked about the level? We want to have like a big level. So this level here becomes like that major level. Let's see if I can, and then that level, let's do it like this. Dang it. Okay, news here in 17 seconds, guys, careful. But for Rajesh, this level right there, you see that becomes the level. There's the structure. Buyers try once, they try twice, we get the dot, boom, boom shakalaka. Now, I wouldn't take that right now because that would be the continuation just because it's news, right? So now it looks like they're gonna break this high right here. And that's what we mean. They do two-sided trading. When we're in a range like that, you're gonna see two-sided, two sides. They both win. They both win and they both lose. Okay. That'd be the continuation dot, but it's news, so I'd be very cautious here. I'd be very cautious here. But I'll try scalp. I'll try a little scalp. Take it to the top of the range, maybe. There's 50 ticks, 80 ticks. Stops already break even. Taking my profit for 100 ticks, gang. Taking that profit for 100 ticks, gang. So very simple execution, super simple entry. This is all I do, guys. This is the secret sauce for me, for my entry. Like, the only reason why I use Renko is for execution, okay, and understanding rotation, right? So very basic. This is like so 2010, right? So if you've been trading for more than a year, you know, back in the day, there was a thing called harmonics trading. Not that I'm a harmonic trader, but every time you look at a chart, you're going to see prices always printing, at least on smaller time frames, M's and W's all day, every day. So that is basically all we take. Our executions are M's and W's, okay? I revealed a little secret sauce. I wish it was more complicated than that, but it's not, right? So M's and W's, but you obviously need context. You need the context in order to make it right. So the context here was a 10 o'clock opening print. We had a 10 o'clock opening print. We had failure to really close under 650. So we also had volume here. So there was like large selling here. I don't know if you can see this, but on the Renko, we got aggressive. The reason why I use my bands here is the only reason why is because I'm not interested in trading in the band. I need to wait for price to get out the band first. Once we get out the band, then I start paying attention, all right? So we got out the band, we got back in the band. Remember, 90% of the time, we're gonna stay in the band. And then from here, we get our nice little structure. Boom, we pull back. There's the dot for rotation. But how do you enter this? Well, we just wait for the flip. Once we got that flip right there, everything lined up, and then we get the nice little pop. But understanding the fact that on the 1 minute chart, we were in a range. We were in a range, right? We're in a range. So it's not like enough to trade patterns. You can't just trade patterns. It's the quickest way to lose money. Like if you start looking at every M and W and QRS TUV, you're going to be blown up, right? So it's context, context, context. Level first, that's location, right? Timing and order flow. So we need to see the activity of aggression. And if you don't have the order flow tools, that's fine. I mean, you could just like, I don't know what to tell you if you don't have order flow tools, but you know, we have the big trades. That's kind of the key thing there. That tells us that the actual sellers are active. We want sellers to get in if we're going to buy, okay? We want aggression on one side if we're going to get in on the other side. And now we're beginning to form what looks like bullish structure, but we're inside of a range, okay? We're inside of a range. So now let's see if we can now start holding up here, or if we're going to now rotate back to the downside. Notice on the 1 minute, we've not formed any swing lows here. We are forming a swing high. They'll probably break that. And if they do, then the likely area they'll go next is going to be right there at 800s. They take that guy out, and then maybe they take this guy out up here around 831s. And then that would technically give us this type of market structure here. We got this high, this low, this high. They were taking out that low, and now we're forming a swing high here in a few seconds here. It looks like 8 seconds, and then they're gonna probably bust this one right over here now. Let's see if they bust this guy right here, or they may take it down. We'll see. We'll just watch. They're kind of struggling here. Zero gamma. Hit the like button, guys, if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button. Trade number 3, 100 ticks. That went from 100 to the break even back to 100. We are now beginning to base or consolidate under the opening range low. So for this type of structure, what I'd like to see is a liquidation to the downside first, reclaim, and then maybe a pop of this high right here. That high right there. So there's the liquidation move. Let's see if they're going to be able to get through 700s. Watching 700s. I'm going to take another scalp attempt here. Stops under 700. There's my dot, looking for continuation for at least maybe this high. I don't know if we'll get there. Look like we're rejecting again. Watching book map. Are they going to be able to give it to us? Can we get that pop to that swing high structure at 750s? And if they do, then the next pop would be this high 800s. So there's 50 ticks. Stops already at break even just in case they fail here. Trailing, there's 80 ticks. Let's see if we get that pop of that high at 750. There's the pop. Taking one off. We're up 160 ticks. Looking for the next swing high structure at 800s for my target. 1 day, actually, I'm taking the target right there. We're at our 1 day min. So just going to take it off right there, guys, for a very nice 160 tick trade. Trade number 4. So what's that? What's that? 40 points. That was a 40-point trade. No, that's not 40 points, is it? Yeah, 40 points. 40 points plus 25 points. We're up 65 points right now in the session. We're beginning to cook. Got a nice little buffer. It's still early. It's not even 10:30 yet. So Rajesh, big W. We have boss. We had the boss acceptance engine indicator here, right? So it's showing us. It's showing us here the W's, buddy. It shows us W's and M's, okay? That's what the boss acceptance engine does, right? So that green line there showed it to us. Boom. So we broke out. Notice where when we break out, that line stays on chart. Boss 1. They broke out again here, broke out again here, and then we pull back. So that it pulled back to the original, this part right here. The nose. We call it a nose, right? The nose of the W. They pull right back, bam. Okay. And then here's the thing, this could have caught everyone off guard here because everyone thought, oh, lower low, but it wasn't really a lower low, okay? And even if it was a lower low, it doesn't matter. What matters is what happens after we got the flip. When we get that flip, that becomes a potential pullback for continuation, but they failed to get lower. So there would have been no short here. And then if you look at our tools here, our momentum, our volatility bands, I mean, it's just like, yo, you get in and just follow the green line, right? That's it. And now it looks like we're forming the M. Now it looks like we're forming the M. So now we try short. Now we get short. There we go. Now we can try the short and see if it holds up. So they reclaim here. That's fine too. I don't care. I have a buffer. I'm fine. This is where we watch book map to see if they're going to build volume here and trap people. Out of the way, we're good. Out of the way, we're good. So watching 750. Watching 750. Look at the buyers. I'm sorry, the sellers. They're beginning to press into 25s, but we're not getting through 25s, but we're already up 80 ticks. So guess what? I go break even already. I don't care what happens anymore. I don't care if they want to pop me out, if they want to keep going. There's another 100 ticks, gang. Another 100 ticks. Boom, taking that profit. 200 ticks right there. Trade number 5. Another 50 points. Guess what, gang? We hit our 100 points. We hit our 100 points in 38 minutes. Did you guys see that? We did it. We did it, boys. And look at the play. Look at the play. Easy, easy peasy. Gex level. What Gex level's at? 1 day minimum. Very important. We have bullish structure. They form swing high, swing lows. We just talked about that. We'll show you on the 1 minute chart. We had this nice little expansion here. We liquidated these buyers here. That's the catalyst for the move up. Higher high, higher low, higher high. And then we get, and this is also VWAP. We had VWAP here at 770. Boom, there's the dot, there's the reclaim. So we had a scenario where we broke the high and then we broke back under. All right, we had a break of a high. So we call this a failure swing. We break up, break back in. There's the dot. Now that dot doesn't necessarily mean it's going to tank like this. It could literally just be a dot and then continue higher in a strong trend. Like for instance, over here, that's what happened over here. We got a dot, boom, continuation. Got a dot, boom, continuation. So I got in as we started failing the level. Okay, as we approach the nose, once we crack the nose, the main key for me is the level. The pattern is already done at that point. I'm not worried. The pattern did what it needed to do, but now all I'm focused on at that point is the level. And as long as we don't get a reclaim of 750s, right? So when this thing breaks like this, boom, we break. I don't want to see it start basing here and then shoot back up. So that's why my stop is literally right here. And then what ends up happening is, boom, we got that accelerated move. We watch the book map. We look for the buying. We look for the selling. We see the dynamic. And notice when it was there, it was just thick. It was extremely thick. And that was it. That was it. So very nice little M pattern there for the big win of 50 points. That was a very nice extension. And just be cautious as we move back into support. We're now above the 10 o'clock open still. So we have not traded underneath it. But now, because it was a news event, this looks like it's going to leave a pretty big wick here. In fact, it did on the 5 minute chart. So just be wary when they leave a big wick like that, especially because of news, they're going to come back and take that out. They may not do it right now. They may do it later, but just be aware that usually these type of moves are manufactured. So look at what they're doing here. They're breaking structure now. So now the real question is this going to be a failure swing, or do we get another pop right back up for a retest of our breakout level here? This is our breakout level right here. All right, that's our prior breakout level right here, the nose. Let's see if they're going to pull back to that level. So now we've got double break. So now we can just chill a little bit, let price do what it does because we're in a range, right? That's another potential long as this holds up. I'm not taking it, but just note that there is a possibility if they don't take this red line out, that this could squeeze and retest maybe the 75, 750s again. But it looks like it's already failing to hold the breakout level. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. We got a nice little W here, but it's pretty weak so far. But now they're beginning to base right at the nose. They're basing on the nose right here. Used to be a Forex trader. They used to talk about noses. Choppiness. Yeah, Gex 7. Yeah, we got some liquidity though. Book map, we got some big levels showing up here. 100 contracts on the bid around 27,640s. Let's see. So this is what you call overhead press. You get a strong move up and they go sideways. What they do with an overhead press, the same thing again and again. They get strong, they press, can't break, can't break, can't break. So what does it do? Go back down, and then it goes. So let's see. Actually, it looks like it's probably going to go. They're actually breaking out. Let's see. Let me get that retest. So no overhead press here. Watching. So this is our nice little, oh, looks like it might be an overhead. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Oh boy. I would not want to be a seller right there. I mean, a buyer. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try a little scalp here. Maybe I get stopped out and it could be a trap for me. It could be. Feels like it because they just got back inside that box. But watching that 700 level, let's see if we get that acceleration now through. Looking at the book map now. Watch the book map. Watch the book map. If I start seeing these red bubbles fail, look at 75. We're up another 15 points. Another 15 points. How about we just take that profit since we're in a range? I'm going to take that profit right there for another 15 points, guys. I'm just killing it today. I might be in flow. I might be in flow. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those sessions where I'm going to push and hit the gas pedal and try to milk this. 65 plus 50 plus 15. We're up 130 points right now in the session, gang. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah, that's the overhead press right there. See, we get strong, we go sideways for a bit, and then boom, rotate to the other side. Appreciate the fire emojis. I think that's the first fire emoji I ever got on my stream. I think it's the first emoji I ever got on my stream. Let's keep it pumping here, guys. Let's keep it pumping here. What we got next? What we got next? Big Renko getting bearish. Big Renko getting bearish. Got to watch out here, though. Look at the 1 minute chart. They're playing here. They're trapping the fools. This is the playbook they did yesterday, guys. You remember the playbook yesterday? What did they do yesterday? Right out of the open, they got really bearish. Boom, just sold off, sold off, sold off. 10 o'clock or what's 10:30ish? Went sideways all day. Stayed inside. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's going to be. We had news today, so we're going to see this market maybe get liquid here, real liquid. We got some volume down below. Let's monitor that volume here. Look at the book map here. They're going to execute these orders here on the bid. That's a scalp short. That's a scalp short. If I seen that, if I wasn't talking and watching 650, seeing them how they already bounced off the level ones, came back, held it, the bid was right there. That's the scalp right there. Instant 50, 25, 50 points right there. Why did I take a sell? Oh, the reason why I took a sell. Okay, very good question, Rajesh. Let's pull that up for really quickly. So you got to understand the overall the context, right? So it's not the pattern, it's the context. So what happened? It all started over here, right? So can you see my chart? So the main level, let's remember, it's level first, pattern second, okay? So where do we find, where did the first rotation begin? It began right around, what was this price? 76.75. So that's where the rotation started, right? So for me, I call this a tripwire because we get under a level and then we immediately snap back and go to the other side of the band. So these are Enzo bands, right? Enzo bands are souped up Renko Bollinger bands, okay? So what happens here in this type of scenario is you get price creating lower low, lower high. We get under the level, right? 675. And we don't know if that's going to be it. We don't know until it does, until it happens. But the move goes like this, and then you get this. Boom. So that's a tripwire, okay? Because everyone who sold the breakout, all the people who sold under here, guess what? These boys are squeezed, right? So that's how it started. And then you see the volume. So big trades, you start seeing big sell bubbles. People try to sell when they see big sell bubbles. Okay, but they're doing it incorrectly. Bottom line is big sellers came in, right there, 69 contracts right down here, and then squeeze. That's how it started. Then we went into this scenario where we got extreme here on the other side. So when we start seeing this, it's telling us, hey, watch out. The price might begin to start rotating between the bands. So what happens, the first structure for us here was this big M pattern. Boom, right? We got the M pattern, they pulled back and gave us the resolution. This is the resolution right here. That is it. I mean, it kept going, but we don't know how far it's going to go. That's the challenging part. But for me, it's going to be the move before we start flipping again, right? And so in this instance, this would be the break. That was the first structure. Then we got the extension. It was about 200 ticks. Okay, no problem. There's no structure here. Here we got another structure M, right? Boom, they broke it right here. There's the extension, but notice what happened here. Pull back. They failed to create a lower low. So even though we did get this extension on the initial drive lower, on the actual pullback, the sellers failed. So we had a seller failure here. On that seller failure, and at time, 10 o'clock, and at that key level at 675, same situation occurs. We had 66 contracts. You probably can't see it here. There's 66 contracts that got sold again under 675. Right there, okay? We get outside the band, and the same thing that happened here begins to happen here. This time, instead of giving us a bearish M pattern, we get a bullish W pattern, and this is the one I got long in. So now the context and the shift now changes because now we're bullish. We're also above our 10 o'clock opening price. So now we're in alignment. Plus, we're looking at the 1 minute, and I shared with you there how we were probably going to take out that swing high. I think it actually comes in a little later. But anyway, so now we start trend. We start trending. What's a trend, guys? Very simple market structure, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, equal low. They came back into 670. This is where I got long. Everyone was thinking maybe it's going to be a failed breakdown or a buyer failure, and you're going to get short from here. But we don't just like short that. I mean, you could, but I didn't. Instead, what I saw was that, hey, this is probably just a pullback to our nose here. And it was. And the fact of the matter is, look at the Bollinger Band here. We pull back into the middle band, and then we reclaim it. Okay, so the midpoint's pretty important for me. Get the dot. It wasn't a clean run. They did pull back one time, but then we ended up getting in and got long. We caught that. We sat through the pullback. It's fine. And then we took that profit really quickly. All right, so that's the context. But then look at what happens. We hit our 1 day minimum, right? That's a major level. That is a major level. Okay, we know that this is significant. This is where we know that everyone's paying attention to this. We know that there's going to be some type of reaction. We don't know what kind of reaction, but I just follow my execution layer. We get extreme outside the bands, but I want to see buying volume. Did we get buying volume? Yeah, 63 contracts here, 59 contracts here. So we see buyers getting aggressive. Okay, cool. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, cool. Look at this area here. We get extreme above the level, 775s and our 1-day min. Extreme above the level. We see price hit the level, and then we get back under the level. So for me, I'm watching as price is creating a new high. So if you compare, for instance, when this high here, when we broke this high here, this was the break on this side, we broke it, we pulled back under, and then it reclaimed. Okay, reclaimed. Here was a little different. We broke out, we tested the level, and then we reclaimed. Here, we broke out, this one failed. This had the potential to be the failure here, and then it reclaimed, and boom. So here, we break out, but it's not just any level, and that's the key. It was the expected low. We break back above it, and then we get back in it, short it. Plus we had VWAP, expansion lower. Then for the next trade that we caught was here. Why did I take this short, right? Because you're like, well, didn't you know, it was an M and then a W here, right? So we had the M pattern here, boom, failure scene, we break. So for me, that is where the buyers had the chance, right? This was the entire move up was right here for the buyers. This is what validated that the buyers did not have enough to accept or take control of the auction above VWAP. So we failed the VWAP, number one, right? That's important. The VWAP is a measuring stick of control of the auction throughout the session. So if we are unable to hold above the VWAP, in this instance, we get above it once, twice, and fail, could not reclaim, that tells me buyers are not able to, like where it really matters, where the rubber meets the road, they failed. So because they failed, I have no interest in being buyer at this point, right? So we end up seeing price now, we get an M pattern, the sellers take control of this auction right here. At this point, the sellers have taken control, but now we need the validation. We need that confirmation. And so what is a form of a confirmation for me is when the other side fails. So the sellers here succeeded the first time, but now I need to see them succeed a second time. So look at what happens here. The buyers come back in again, right at the opening print. We get some sellers coming in, and then we get a little W pattern here. The buyers tried, all right, we get that break, and then they start forming what I call overhead press. So rather than giving us a situation like you have here, you get the M and then big extension, we get a W here, and then they consolidate. They consolidate, right? But then here's why I got short. They popped. This was their chance. They popped right here. This becomes a W, and technically the W succeeded because all we're looking for is a second leg. So the first leg of the W is leg one, wait for pullback leg two. They gave us the second leg, but it was a failed or short second leg because as soon as that second leg completed, they broke back inside the box. They broke back under 700s. We got the rotation flip right there. That's why I got short. And then this confirms the idea or the actual second step in a trend reversal is we're seeing the buyers fail. So the sellers took control, boom. The buyers tried to take back control here. They failed. They failed to do so. That's why I got short, right? Does that explain it? Does that explain it? So the sale, so I mean, it's kind of a lot to absorb, but the reality is just know that when we're in a downtrend, buyers are going to fail. When we're in an uptrend, sellers are going to fail. So when the market goes into transition, because the market will, because even in a downtrend on a macro perspective, let's say an hourly chart, it could be in a downtrend, you're going to have moments where the smaller time frame will go into a temporary uptrend, and that's fine, but it doesn't mean the macros completely change. So we were technically, if you look at an hourly chart, that hourly chart, look, nothing happened. It was just, we just here, that's it. That whole move back up created the wick of the hourly. Hence why we're always watching the hourly opening price. So it was a risky trade in the sense that, yeah, we were above the hourly open. It was a risky trade, but what will supersede whether or not, you know, because we're above an hourly open or 30-minute open, what should supersede our execution layer is going to be location, levels, right? It's going to be the levels. And in this instance, the buyers had their chance. We came into a very important level, Combining that with VWAP, very important. Combining the fact that we are a negative gamma right now, we can see that we have net gex that's negative, so flows are negative. So we combine all that. Look, at the end of the day, you're not going to process all. If you're just learning this, you're not going to process all this real time. So the main thing you just need to focus on is a 3-step process, right? Number one is location, which you've mastered. You're using gamma levels. You understand that. You know, we've been talking back and forth using the higher time frame opens, the lows and the highs of the daily, weekly, whatever. Number one. Number two is the order flow, right? So you may not understand everything about order flow right now. You don't have to. The main thing you want to pay attention to is the big trades at these levels, because it's not enough for price just to get to a level. We need price to get extreme. So my indicator that signifies extremeness is the Enzo bands. So Enzo bands, which you have, when we start getting outside, that is what we call getting extreme. Now that's part of it, but we also want to see extreme with volume. So there you go, 91 contracts right there, okay? So when you combine that, then the last step is going to be the failure or the reclaim, which is how we get the dots. Those dots, that's the execution trigger, right? So there's no execution right now. There's nothing to do, but we're just looking at our checklist. Level, boom. Are we getting extreme? Boom. Do we see large trades or order flow confirming? Yes. Who's the one that's being aggressive? The opposite side. Yes. Do we have our potential for failure here? Yes. Do we have our pattern now, our execution, our MRW? No. Okay, no trade, right? So everything here is lining up. We got our level, 700s. We got extreme, we got volume, but there's no end pattern here, right? So this is a different scenario here. For this to be a valid trade, this would mean this needs to go all the way back down here, right? But price is lazy, and it's not going to just go all the way down there. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to end up creating a higher low that's easier striking distance, and then they'll break it, right? Price is typically lazy. When you have a big extension like that, very rarely in one swoop are they going to take it out. Okay, and that's why when you start using Renko consistently, and this is why I use Renko, the secret sauce to Renko, it's not that it hides market structure, because people use it so they can get rid of the noise. That's, to me, I mean, I know that's why they were built, but that's not really how I use it. I use it because I want to see the structure. I use it because I want to know the rotations and all that other stuff. You know, so when you start using Renko, especially the way I do it with these type of Renko bars, I don't use any other Renko bars. I don't use Ninja Renko. I just use the free Unirenko bricks. You're going to begin to start seeing, because the structure of price is uniform no matter the session. When you use Renko charts, it's uniform. It's always going to look the same pattern. And I know they say nothing repeats. Oh yes, it does. If you're using a certain type of candles, a certain type of price chart, it does, because we're not looking at the individual candles. We're looking at the structure. Structure is a repetitive thing. It's always doing the same thing. Higher high, higher low. Right? Lower low, higher low. It's the same thing over and over again. The market can only do like 4 things. It can either create new highs, it can create new lows, it can create lower lows or lower highs. That's literally all the market can do. And if you don't believe me, if you pull up a candlestick chart, okay, you pull up a candlestick chart, you'll know that there's only 3 types of candles that exist, right? And I know it sounds crazy, because if we look at any chart, you'll be like, no, there's a lot of different candles. No, there's only 3 types of candles that exist. There's only 3. And this is where what I've heard some wise people call a universal truth of price action. The universal truth of price action that's undeniable, unquestionable, is that there's only 3 types of candles that exist on a chart. And once I understood that, that just made everything like so simple, so simple. So look what they're doing. They're now forming that higher low. Maybe we get an M pattern here. We're back at, are we back at, no, we're not at the VWAP yet. So we're getting near the VWAP. Right? So we'll see if they're going to be able to tag that VWAP one more time and reclaim. What time is it? We're back above the opening price. So the buyers did a good job reclaiming here. But let's see what happens as they start now trying to form this M pattern here. Are they going to be able to do it? All right, let's see. It's got to be cautious, because we're right at our 200 moving average. And notice how our indicator kept us safe. Like, there is no trade until we get that dot. There is no trade until we get that dot. There is no trade until we get that dot, gang. Yeah. So we're in up rotation. This green line signifies that the current rotation based on my volatility is up, right? So even if you see these pullbacks, it doesn't matter. Those pullbacks do not matter if we're still in an upward rotation. Until we hit this red line here, then we begin a downward rotation. So look at the 1 minute chart now. I've been talking a lot today, guys. Sorry. I get a little fired up, you know, when I get in flow. So you see here, the 700s, look at how the body's here, right? So look, you see where we're currently at. they're beginning to form some swing high structure here, which they'll probably break it. But notice how they also formed a swing low structure right underneath, right? That little dot right there, low, lower low, higher low. And then they're forming another swing high here, or they're about to. Let's see how they handle this. So we're compressing here. When you start seeing compression at a level, very important, because this is telling us that this is something's about to happen here, right? And if you have the confidence to get long, then you can buy and just know that this is going to be the target right here. At the same time, if you're trying to short, you don't want to short right now, because the reality is this might be the target right here. So if you short, they may swipe it one more time and then close under, and then you get the failure. And the good news is there's a swing low right here. So they could totally use that as an opportunity for a target. So it looks like we're in a downward rotation at the moment. Let's see what happens. I'll try it short. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try it short. Maybe I'm going to regret it, but that's okay. I got some buffer. Stopped above 700. It's a little big. They didn't take the M out, though. They didn't take the M out. So I'm actually not sure if I want to stay in this setup here. And we are at that watching. I'm just watching. Look at the book map here. It's probably not going to work out here. I'm going to take my stop. So we never formed the actual break of structure yet. So it might have been a little premature. They may take out that high. So let's see what happens. I took a loss here, guys, for 10 points or 15 points. No, it's 50 ticks. Yeah, 50 ticks. 12 points. So it went from 100 and, what was it? 30. Now I'm up 115 points right now. 115 points right now. Look, they're breaking that structure right now. Let's see. So we watch how they close here on the, we got 13 seconds left. It's 10:30. So that's the other thing. Pay attention. 10:30. We're forming this consolidation going into 10:30. Watch the 700 levels. Get 7. They're going to probably expand one more time here. So right now they're forming bullish structure here on the 1 minute. Look, lower low, higher low. Sorry, higher low, higher high, higher low. Bull flag here. Let's see. They're going to try to squeeze right there. Where are they going? They're taking out this guy next. Right there. 731, and that lines up with our opening range low, which would be a magnet. But the main thing to pay attention to right now is the VWAP at 741s. 741s. We're getting extreme. Let's see if these boys are going to be able to reclaim opening range low. Let's see. There's that 10 o'clock, 10:30 open. Can they stay above? Watch the price action here. Look what happened there. You got that fake break. There's the move. Is this the move? Watch the book map here. 770s. Watch the book map here. That would be it right here. Boom. So right there. So you don't have it here. Look, I didn't take it. I missed it, but this would have been the move. We get back under 700s. We came back. There's the buyers that tried. That could have been the trigger right there. Plus we got the break of structure. So now it needs to stay under 700s for us to get that meaningful move. But what's concerning is we have this type of bar here on the 1 minute. So when you have a outside bar like this, okay, when they take out both sides, you don't expect directional move. Do not expect a directional move. So if you think that it's going to go down after a red outside bar, no, you're mistaken. This right here is purposely meant to sweep both sides of the range. So they take out the stops for the sellers, they take out the stops for the buyers. That high right there, okay, boom. What's really happening is all these guys now in a trade, whether they're shorting or longing, they're now all stopped out. Okay. Now we're back again. So now we're creating a Johnny Cage. We're breaking the high, we're breaking the low, breaking the high, breaking the low. So there is no winner right now. We are rotating. It's two-way trade at the open print. Expected. Two-way trade at the open print. It's expected. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't hit that like button. Trying to get 100 likes. I got 22 yesterday, or the day before. Let's see if we can pop this high here at the opening range low and get the test of that VWAP. But I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident here at all, being a seller or a buyer. So let's just look at what's going on, because we expect that they're going to take out one side of the initial balance, right? This is where people have a hard time. Even myself, sometimes I'll have a hard time because I'm impatient for the right timing of the entry because I don't want to miss it, right? But we can just see what they're doing here, and they just keep trying to form these higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. They'd use that outside bar to trap, and then look at what they just did. They went inside in the next bar. So outside bar means they take out the side of both sides of the previous candle, and inside bar is where they stay inside the previous candle. So we went from an outside to an inside to a trend bar up, but it's a fail to. So you're just creating a lot of confusion right now. We're creating a lot of confusion right now. Not for me, but that's what this type of price action is. but we're holding GEX 10. So you notice we just keep wicking off this, and this is the GEX 10 level for the NDX, for NDX. Okay, so we do use, you know, NQ levels, but also NDX, QQQ, stuff like that. So now we got another swing high structure here that they're forming. They just took out this one. They took out this one. So buyers are feeling pretty nifty here, because you know there's algorithms that literally watch this stuff. Yeah, earnings week for sure. Well, we've gotten some pretty decent moves at the open of the session, and then we just kind of go sideways for the rest of the session. But with the current range in ATR, the ATR is 175 on a 1 minute chart, and it's 1030. That's higher than usual. You know, so I am expecting that even if it does go rangy, like these moves are big enough where we can still make money, right? Like each swing here, that's 200 ticks for that swing. Even in a counter swing here, not the best, but 176 ticks. Because again, if my scalp targets are 60 ticks to 25 to 100 ticks, that's all I'm looking for, right? I'm looking to make sure that at least the market conditions, the environment is able to deliver the minimum scalp objective. And then again, it could be a rangy price action like this. And if it is, then that just simply means I just have to make sure I'm taking profit, going break even, watching my levels on Bookmap, and that's it. So they're trying to break down here, but you can't trust breakdowns right now as we start consolidating. Breakdowns fail, right? Tripwires. But they already tripwired here. They did. I got caught in the tripwire, right? They just took the low out, went back up, and closed. Took out the high, went back inside. Yeah, it is. There's the break. This might be the move, guys, but let's see what happens here. We're still holding that 675 level. I may consider trying one time. I'm gonna try here. 675s, just watching 700s. Let's see if we can stay under 675. Stop above my 50 moving average. These boys could trap right here. What time is it again? 10:35? Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'll maybe give it a little bit of space here. Watching, taking back up. I'm gonna get tagged out here. No, I'm out. 80 ticks. It's okay. It's okay. I don't. It's all good. That's why we have a buffer. That's why we have a buffer. See, they did it again. They're trapping. This is the behavior here inside of a range. Entry wasn't really the best. If it was the right move, we should have just kind of kept going. Unfortunately, but we got the break, and it did give us 60 ticks. But I don't think I got in early enough to catch the 60 ticks. Yeah, I got it super late. Super late. So if I would have actually used my auto entries to get in, I would have been perfectly fine. I would have actually hit my profit target. So that's a very important thing too. Sometimes it's like the entry timing has everything to do with whether or not that trade works out or doesn't work out. There's the squeeze, guys. There is the squeeze. These boys are now trying to break out here. We're getting extreme. Let's see if we can stay extreme. So I'm still up 100 points on the session. FYI, I did give back 30 points between those two losses. Yeah. So now we are breaking these highs. Where are they going next? They took out all these swing highs here. They're taking out that news high. Are they going to go after that 10 a.m. high that they formed right there at right under 800s? It's possible. It's possible. Big break. Big break. Let's see. Is this pullback going to succeed? We've broken out, but will they succeed? We now are reclaiming the VWAP. Though this is the true test for the buyers. Like, are these buyers going to actually really defend the VWAP here and take control of this VWAP, or are these boys going to exhaust? Let's see. We might be having an overhead press here if these guys cannot escape this consolidation here at the high. So 750s. Watch the book map here. We'll start watching the book map, guys. Okay, what's going on here with our GEX? It's beginning to turn, it's almost positive. So it seems to be like call flows are beginning to step up here. What time is it? 27,000, 27. So negative is down below. So look at that. We're beginning to fail here. There's zero gamma now. We're at zero gamma. We're beginning to stabilize here just a cinch. But watch this box. This is a very fun pattern here. It looks like a breakout. You got to be cautious though, because it may not be a breakout. Look at the positive GEX here. Let's see if this acts as resistance. Let's see if it acts as resistance. Let's see. There's 75s. There's 75. Can they hold 75? Can these buyers hold 75? We broke above 75. We've closed, but can we hold? This might be an overhead press. Well, overhead press is basically big spike, chop, 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 chop. They failed to break out. So the main area to pay attention to is actually this little area here, because they are unable to get above that level until they do. I mean, of course, sometimes they can. So this becomes that area where they just can't, which means buyers are getting absorbed here, right? So you had this buyer right here, 134 contracts that bought right here, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So watch here, this box. Oops. I took too many contracts there. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm in short, by the way. Oh, Jesus. I just closed my trade accidentally. Oh, my God. I missed it. I accidentally put too much contract. Ah. God, dog it. See, I hit the button too many times and then I accidentally closed the trade. Oh, my goodness. That's what I was hoping to see right there. This is a perfect example of an overhead press. We got bullish breakout. Buyers came in. We had large offers up in this area here. Then seller came in. Okay, and then they couldn't break the resistance here, and then we get the move to the other side. Plus it's VWAP. Plus it's VWAP. But now we're still holding the opening print. Doesn't necessarily mean trend reversal. So just be cautious. Just be cautious here. They could reclaim 25s and then take it back up. That's usually what they do with the overhead press. They'll take it down like this and then take it back up again. Take out this range high. Ooh, what time is it? We got 1 minute, 6 seconds left for the 5-minute counter to close. Look at that 1 minute. If you're watching a 1 minute chart, these boys are failing here. Sellers just got trapped down below, underneath 700s. Let's see if they're going to reclaim the VWAP here, or is this over? Is this over? They're testing the nose here. We're getting some test here. Let's see. But I don't know. I wouldn't like to be a buyer since they failed here underneath the VWAP. But they can still try. They can still try. But I don't know. I'm waiting. That would have been an easy profit of 153 ticks. Overhead press. Watch the video, guys, in the back in the dashboard. I did a whole thing on kind of the common market behaviors that we use with Renko. Again, I swear it repeats over and over again. Now they're going to take out these highs here. So that's what we want to see, right? Positive gamma. That's what this is from GEXBot. We got to these levels, and guess what? Dealers were hedging into that move. Hence why we see price was unable to break the level. Look, our immediate reaction to, they're trying to get right there. Let's see if they can get through this level. Oh, they just pulled it. They canceled it. Or no, there it goes. Let's see. They got to get through all this, right? So got a nice little reclaim there off that low. Hey, Rajesh, do you see that on the 1 minute chart, how we formed a swing low there? Swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. Price is going for 800s. Back to the 1 day min. They were breaking out the high. Let's see if these boys can actually sustain this move now. Is this going to be a committed breakout? Is this going to be a committed breakout above these highs? Buyers are coming in. Good. Send me send me an update when you're done here today with the session with your trades. See how you did today after our meeting yesterday. Hopefully, the concepts that I shared were helpful. It takes time to understand to be able to recognize it real time, and that's the thing about learning, guys. You can learn any concept is easy to learn. I swear you can literally learn all the concepts that you need to learn within like a couple weeks, but it will take years to take those concepts and be able to recognize them real time in real time markets. And then years to be able to execute consistently emotionless in real-time markets based on your on whatever strategy you're using. That's why trading is so hard. It's really misleading because it's so easy to learn the concepts, right? It's like, oh, 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, got it, right? But then when you put it on an actual live chart that's moving tick by tick by tick by tick, and then you put money behind it, forget about it. It's like you almost forget how to spell your own name. Let's see, boys. These boys are going to try to press here. Let's see if they're going to get that breakout. I think they're about getting ready here for a little squeeze here. Let's see. But I don't want to buy the squeeze, guys. I don't want to buy the squeeze. If I did buy the squeeze, it has to be really tight stops, like really tight stops. It's too late for me to get in. I only try to get in on the reversal bars or the buy MCs or the dots. There's only 3 entries I take. So typically it's either a reversal bar or it's a reversal bar plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, or the dots. But mainly it's the dots. Okay, mainly I execute on the dots. So this might be the squeeze. This is a Mike Kleiss play right here. He likes to take the bull flags. That's Papa Kleiss here in the chat. That's probably his play right here. He's probably in this thing about to get the squeeze to 800s. Yeah, you notice how we press the moving average here? So our ATR bars, guys, if you're using this, basically the colors represent the V rotations. So when you see us go from like a light green to a full green means confirmed trend, right? And then light green is when we get the initial start of the rotation. But that initial rotation can fail. We understand this, right? So once we start seeing big green, okay, it's like the buyers are in control. And so we got strong buyers in control, and then same thing happens here. Look at the moving average, look at the level. What level is this? This is 760s-ish breakout level. Every time they get under, back up, under, back up, under, back up, and then finally they couldn't even get under right here, and then we squeeze. But we're back under look at the look. Now we're getting extreme here. 1 day max, or sorry, 1 day min. We got a lot of buyers coming in. These boys need to hold this if we're gonna have a chance here. Did they take out that high? Yeah, they didn't really do it yet. That 10 a.m. high needs to get a little bit more aggressive. We have 30 seconds left on the 15-minute candle. So best to let that 15-minute candle close. Okay. Let it close. Let the next 15-minute candle open up. Let them trade above the prior 15-minute candle. And then from there, let's see if they fail or if it ends up completely rotating. Because if it does rotate, then we might be seeing a move back towards I'll put the 15-minute chart on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is our 15-minute chart. Look at what they did here. These guys created a swing low right here. The next swing low would be right here. So they're going to probably end up trying to get a pullback right there. There's no swing highs formed yet. So these guys are going to take out this high. If they fail to take out a high, then this could potentially become a swing high candidate, but we'll see what happens. Right now it's suspicious. But it looks like they're going to try to break. But we got some gaps here. You know, we're under the moving averages. We're under 800 gex level. We're dealing with the 1 day max or minimum, sorry. And we get some failure swing here. Now we're in a bearish rotation. So now I'm watching this anchor here. So we've got this type of structure here. This high, this low, this high. And now we're in this rotation. So let's delete some of this stuff here on my Renko chart. I know you guys couldn't even see that. So now we're trading back underneath our breakout level of 762s. We're now testing 7500s. This is where they may start absorbing here off the midpoint. And then we got the VWAP right here. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think these guys do want to take out that 15-minute high. So immediately pop off the 200 moving average. Right? The 200 moving average. Oh, this platform is NinjaTrader. We use NinjaTrader for our trading. NinjaTrader. What platform do you use currently? I'm assuming most folks use TradingView, right? I'll use TradingView like for my phone. Like I don't trade on my phone, but if I am like on the road, I'll just pull up TradingView. TYSM. What is TYSM? What is that? TYSM? I never heard of that platform. Let's see what they're going to do with the 1 day min here. They're going to be able to pop. Look at the 1 minute chart. Let's look at the closures. They just closed through it once and they're closing through it twice. So we got a double break here, right? Notice the bodies here at 750. They couldn't close back under 750. Pretty important information. Pretty important information. Right there. Boom. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Got it. Sorry. I'm old. I'm not hip to these acronyms. You know, my daughter trying to tell me all these new words. And I'm like, what? And back in my day, we used to say, that's fat. And then she's like, no, it's that's aura. I'm like, aura? The heck? Oh, that's aura. Well, whatever. Is she awake? Oh, not yet. It's summertime, you know, for those who have kids. All right, let's see. These guys took out that 15-minute high. We're now beginning to accept above 800, 27,800. Let's see if we pop. These guys are trending, trending, trending. So, you know, what's really helpful here, what I like to always do is like look at when that trend transition and see if I could see any clues so I can train myself to understand like what changed. Well, we got positive GEX now, right? We were literally going, you could literally see the negative GEX deteriorating and beginning to get positive. That's number one. By the way, we have an indicator that we're going to pop out here that integrates with GEX bot, and it's going to be popping all the data here. So rather than like looking at my charts like this and not really knowing what it means, it's going to just crunch it, simplify it, and then tell you straight up, here's what's happening. Here's the moment we went from negative to positive GEX. Here's our major levels. Here, and then it's going to look for confluences too. So it's going to be pretty dope. Putting all the pieces together. But it looks like this market is trying to squeeze. Look at that 15-minute. Even the big Renko just gave us a nice breakout here. Big Renko literally just tripwired everyone from 10 o'clock. You see, we took out that 10 o'clock low right here. And now we just broke structure. So we just formed a nice little, what's kind of an ugly W, but they formed a W here. So big Renko not ready yet to buy, but you just want to now see if this is truly going to hold if the pullback succeeds, right? The pullback, when I say the pullback succeeds, it means that it succeeds and then from there creates a new high. So here's the extension. When they pull back, do we get the new high? That would be a successful pullback. So we are back inside the expected range. We're pulling back to our opening range mid. So let's see where we go from here, guys. But guess what? Hit the like button. That's what we should do. Let's hit that like button. If I could hit my own like button, I would, but I can't. I can't. All right. Well, we hit our goal. We're at 100 points. I did give back 30 points, like, taking some silly trades, but it's okay. As long as I don't give back 100 points, we're good to go, right? We're good to go. So that 15-minute candle, I mean, these boys are ripping now. Well, Trump is going to be talking about Israel, so be careful, guys. I think that's what happened yesterday. He was talking yesterday, too, and the price action was just, woof. Towards the end of the session or in the middle of the session, it was getting kind of funky there. So hourly chart's pulling back right now. Got the big Renko breaking out. We got the small Renko trending higher, higher, high, higher, low. We're now at our opening range mid. We're testing Globex VWAP. Bids, offers overhead, nothing significant though, really. I mean, we'll see as we are going to press now probably into 900s. It's our next GEX level. I'm trying to see, is there anything else here I should be paying attention to in terms of levels? ES, really interesting how they did this. If you are trading ES, guys, look at the ES chart real quick. So on my chart here, we actually found some major support around our green lug level, and then we see the GEX 1 level 7425. But notice how this is actually really helpful to learn, because what you see on the chart here are large offers right down here. So when price was trending, they put these orders for 1,200 contracts and then 800 contracts, okay? When we see that, and then that's step one. Step two is when we start seeing price trade through it, it usually means one of two things. They either fill the orders or they end up canceling these orders. But the point is, this should have created a move that would push price lower. But instead, what happened? It created a reversal. So what that means is these orders here were actually used to lift price, right? Instead of pressing price lower, it was used to rotate, lift price, and then you start seeing the bids come in, and now we start seeing a different type of behavior where prices obviously transitioned. And the same thing happened here. There was an offer here. Now it's a 5-minute chart, so you can't see the microstructure. But what happens with the offer, they put a large offer, then price will go down a little bit and then trade through it, and then that becomes fuel for the move higher. Not always, but that is a characteristic of what you'll see when you start watching the order flow. Okay, we're finding some exhaustion here, 75s. There's the dot. Are these boys ready for a little pop here? Let's see. Watching. I'm going to try scalp. Watching the book map here so I don't get spanked. 75s. Entries at 50s. Can we get that continuation drop here? Watch 50s. If they can get under 50s here, watch the book map. They need to get under 50s. If they don't get under 50s, I cut the trade. I should have waited for them to get under 50. I got tagged out on that. Gave back a little bit there. but still watching here to see. Still watching here to see. There was no break of structure, so I shouldn't have taken that trade. I think I'm beginning to take some dumb trades. I took 3 losses in a row, guys. Took 3 losses in a row. Where are we at right now? Actually, that was not too bad of a cut there. So I'm actually technically still 100 points, because I guess I was a little bit above 100 points. So pretty cool. Let's see. These guys are still pumping, but I'm waiting to see if they're getting exhausted out here. We're getting to see some exhaustion, some symptoms. Buyers are beginning to get sweaty here and tired. Look at that, 75. Watching 75 here on Bookmap. Are they going to stay heavy or prop 75? If they prop 75, then they go to 900s. They're holding 75. Now they need to reclaim. I'm going to try one more time. One last chance here. Watching the Bookmap. If they reclaim 75, stops will be 85s. We're up 30 ticks. Let's see if they can crack 50s now, because this is where they've been popping price. They've been holding price here. They've been defending the 50 level here. There's 15 points, but let's see. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. Stops already at break even at 50 ticks. I'm watching 50s. Can we crack 50s? Can we crack the 50s? We're getting underneath the prior 5-minute high. 50s are still holding. Look at how they have not gotten under 50. There's a 31 contract bid right here. And it seems to be, we got some positive gamma here. So it's acting as support. So there we go. There's 60 ticks. Can we push through 50s? Yes. They're getting absorbed though. Look, absorbed. See that? They hit it and then they put an offer right above. Let's see if they're going to be able to, if they're going to take it back up now. I'm break even on my stop. So either way, I'm Gucci. Look, they're breaking down 50 here. There's 80 ticks. Come on now. A little bit heavier. One more time. Get back under. No, the buyers are stepping back in again. Oh, there's the seller. Someone's getting stopped out. Buyers are getting stopped out, but we're not getting away from 50s. Oh boy, yeah, there we go. There's 100 ticks. Let's take that profit off. Let's take that profit off. Quick 25 points right there. We're back in business, guys. We recover some of those cuts. It was just a small scalp, guys. It's a small scalp. They reclaimed again under 50, so we know 50 is that level. Now let's see if they're going to continue to hold 50s here and then take it up again. So they failed to get under 50. We had positive X here, so you can see that was acting as support. Let's see now. Nope. Oh, we're back under 50s. Are we going to be able to start cracking 50s? There's that dot. One more time. I'm going to try one more time. So 50s now becomes my little level here, but I don't want to get trapped off the 200. Look, there's sellers coming in. I don't want to get trapped here. So I'm going to be very, very quick here. Very quick here. Let's see. Watching. Oh, they're going to reclaim. Oh. Get back under. There's a seller. Push. Let's see if we can get to 25s now. Terrible entry. Not really. Watching 50. They're going to try to reclaim 50 again. I'm out. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to take a 12 tick stop. It's okay. I'll wait for a better structure. It's probably going to go now, but look. So they did break the structure here, so I do like that. This is actually a good setup, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced yet. We got 3 minutes left, but oh man, I think I might have missed a big rotation here. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to say goodbye to my kid. She's getting picked up. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What'd I miss? Oh, yeah, that move would have paid nicely, huh? Right there. That little nice scalp there. 100 plus ticks. Look at the 5-minute chart. We got 1 minute left for the hourly candle to close. We're getting extreme now on the sell side. We're pulling back to the bottom band here. Plus, we got 800. They could bounce here. So we'll see. Very nice move. There's the new 1 hour. Let's see. I need some more coffee. All right. Sellers here. We're not get extreme enough yet. Not yet. But let's see if we get a pop here. These boys are going to try to take out this high up top. Let's see. Wait for them to form a fractal low on the 1 minute. We got an outside bar forming there. 5 minutes swing high. No swing low on the 5 minute. Oh, there's no swing low at all on the 5-minute chart. So it feels like they got to do a swing low first before they take it all the way down. Feels like it, but these boys can do whatever they want. So watching here now, 25 to 800s, that becomes our new structure for support resistance or auction. So let's see if these are going to start closing back above 25s and maybe we get a nice move back up to the high. Yeah, Bookmap is separate. Bookmap is separate. I got the hookup on Bookmap, by the way, if you guys are interested. I got the hookup. The one-time lifetime hookup payment versus monthly or whatever, annual, whatever they charge. But the other stuff you see here, this is our stuff for NinjaTrader. All the indicators. Well, Bookmap is pretty helpful. Look at them they're doing a kumbaya over here, guys. They're building a safe zone here, making buyers feel safe off 25, and they just liquidated them. Yeah, when you start seeing price do that, right? It starts bouncing. Oh, look safe. Psych. The safest place on the chart is the most dangerous. Remember that always. Remember that. Let them take out these lows here on a 1 minute. We do need to take out a swing low in order to generate some liquidity. Can these guys take out this low down here and form a nice W pattern? Yeah, I don't really take, if you notice, I don't really even, if I take a trade, I'm looking at Bookmap first, or as soon as I'm in, I'm watching Bookmap. Because for me, I don't want to be in a trade. I don't want to take a big ass stop for no reason. Like it's all about these levels for me, right? On Bookmap. So like if I wanted to be a buyer, and as soon as we start breaking back under this white line, I'm out. Like these white lines are the levels that you see on my NinjaTrader chart are on here. So my gamma levels, my lug levels, and my quarter levels. Bingo, that's it. But what you cannot see on a Renko chart is the interaction of price. You can't see the volume, right? You can't see volume on a regular candlestick chart. And I personally don't find it efficient for me to be looking at a footprint chart just because, I mean, there's a lot to look at. I mean, you can just kind of zoom out and just look at the main things, but I don't know. I have no problem looking at Bookmap. Some folks don't like it. I personally had a hard time with it for many years, but then when I started using my structure with the levels on it, it just like changed the game for me. I swear. Change the game. It's like something so simple. I don't even know why they don't even have that, as a native feature. Just plot horizontal lines at key levels. I mean, that's so basic, right? All right, let these boys liquidate the low here. So notice the 800s here. They're kind of basing here. They're teasing it. Let them liquidate. I want to see a tripwire. So we get aggressively under, reclaim it, and pop it right back up. I would like to see price maybe even come all the way back down to our zero gamma level at 777. Actually, zero gamma is at 779. It's this dashed line here, which moves throughout the session, because that's where I would anticipate them to start really getting defensive, the buyers. So right now on the Renko chart, though, we haven't really gotten extreme. So they're building a safe zone here for buyers. They're buying support, but they're about to get liquidated pretty harshly here. It doesn't mean it's going to be a trend or breakdown. It just means we're going to have, at the bare minimum, a liquidation. They're going to hit stop losses to the downside. And we can see if we get stop triggers here on Bookmap. So there you go. They trade under, get back in one more time. Let them push again. Let them slam it again. Come on, guys. Give me more aggression. if we're not seeing the speed, it means that there's no conviction yet. We need people to start piling into the move, and then once they start piling into the move, then we can tripwire them, and then boom, go to the other side. It sounds so rude. There's the iceberg buy order here. That's what that little E represents there on Bookmap. I don't really care too much about the iceberg orders. It's just more when you start seeing price unable to break a level and there's an iceberg. Okay, cool, that's helpful. It just means get out of the way. But yeah. Get out of the way, right? It just means get out of the way. So if I was trying to sell, I see an iceberg, I would still be selling if I honestly, I'd still be short, but even if there's an iceberg here, but when you start seeing price spend time and unable to break the level, and then there's an iceberg that just happens to confirm, at that point, it's like, yeah, let's close that trade because they're about to clap. They're about to clap all the sellers or clip the sellers. Well, you know, we're moving lower, slower. When we start moving lower, slower, we're not going to get a tripwire because this is a very organized, methodical move, right? We need to see violence. It needs to be speed and aggression. We're not getting that. I need speed and aggression to the, if I want to get long, I need speed and aggression to the downside first. If I want to get short, I need speed and aggression to the upside. We got to flip everything in reverse, right? Because we're always taught, oh, you want to trade with momentum or trend, but they're confusing trend with like liquidations and momentum. But right now it's slow and steady. So this is continuous participation where they're just selling and selling and selling and selling. Controlled selling. Okay. There's the pop. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Is this it? Could this be it? We're back above zero gamma. That's what we talked about, hitting zero gamma and getting back above. Now's the violence, but let's see. I wanted it to be that way to the downside, not to the upside. I wanted violence to the downside. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. We're back above the 11 o'clock open. They might be retesting this breakout level here. So we got a double break here. An Eskimo kiss. The nose here and then the nose here. And it's beginning to fail. So let's see. They didn't take out that structure. We're back under the midpoint here. We failed 25s. I want to see some violence to the downside before we get long for a scalp. I'm just trying to take some scalps here, like another 25, 50 points and maybe be done. It's already 11 o'clock. I already hit the target by 10:08 a.m., but we're just hanging out here. Caught some pretty good trades. Market's trending, moving nicely, so we should try to milk it. We should try to milk it while we can. There's the break. See, that's why we didn't want to buy that. I didn't want to buy that speed move, right? I wanted to get it in the other side. So now I want aggression to the downside, and then I can get long. You see what just happened here, guys? We were just talking about that. It was slow and steady. So we don't want to be a buyer here, okay? And then because the only time we want to be a buyer is when we see aggressive selling, and then we get a reclaim. Then what happens here? We got aggressive here. It was fast. Look at the bricks. Look at the difference in the Renko charts. On this side versus this side, it's continuous bricks. This is a form of weakness, at least if you understand the context of what we're doing here. So this is something you could sell into, okay? And it would be immediate fast resolution. In this case, it would have been an immediate 100 ticks. So now I want to see fast and aggression through this low, and then the same thing, as we get fast and aggressive, then look for a rotation dot, and boom, take it back up, and then take out these guys here who are shorting against this lower high. So these are our stop losses right here. This is where everyone's basically like fired up. They got safe stop loss placement. I know people try to say like, oh, they're not hunting stops. I get it. They're not hunting stops. They really are not hunting stops. The market's just going to fill orders. I mean, that's really what it is. But guess what orders are all in the market? Limit orders and market orders, right? But what's resting in the book are going to be or passive orders, right? Passive orders, which passive orders can be eventually, like a stop loss gets triggered into either a market order or a limit order. But we do know that, and the market doesn't really know this. It's not like there's an algorithm that's literally sitting there trying to like trade above every single high just to take out your stop. But what it will know is that where a price is balanced and imbalanced. And so the extremes is where we're imbalanced and we're balanced in the middle. So price is always going to move towards the side of imbalance to repair and get back in balance. So it's at the extremes where we're imbalanced. And that's why price is always moving from outside to inside, inside to outside. But let's watch. Look at what's going on here. So we see, did we get aggressive here? We kind of did. Maybe it might be ready. I don't know. Let's watch this book map here at 800s. Did they get aggressive? I want aggressive one more time. Can they get aggressive one more time? I need to see the sellers try one more time. One more time. Maybe I'll just try one last. I'll try it here. It's kind of like iffy. Didn't really get that strong aggression to the downside. I guess we did with this move down. Would have been better if it was a little bit faster, but it's fine. Or a little bit more and lower. I'm watching 800 as my stop. 800 is my stop on Bookmap here, and it looks like it's about to fail. Let's see. Watching. Can we get a clap? Nope. I'm out. I'm cutting that for 19 ticks, guys. 19 ticks. I don't like that price action. It needed to move faster, so that means we are inside this range here. So I'm just going to be cautious here. Oh, let's see. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh, shit. I've messed it up. I should have stayed in. Guys. I had the right idea. Oof. Trump is talking. That's a Trump talk right there. My platform is lagging now by like 6 seconds. And and that's fine. I'm okay not being in that trade. I would have been epic though. I would have caught the trade. Shit. Would have hit the profit. All good. Now we might be ready for a rotation to the downside now. So we'll watch to see what happens as we pull back to the nose. The nose. There's 25s again. Are they going to hold 25s? Are they going to hold 25s here? They ran that 5-minute, yeah, a pretty nasty rejection there off of 75. Oh, there's zero gamma here. Let's watch. Are they going to fail here? That was the move, gang. That was the move. So that move, that fast move back down was that speed that we were looking for. And then notice how I started getting slow and grindy here. That's actually a good thing. I should have stayed in that trade. Slow and grindy like that, and then you get the speed. Once we get the speed in, you get the reversal. The price moves fast, right? The price is going to move fast and slow. I mean, that's what Renko helps us understand, is speed. It's hard to see that with candlesticks. All you can really see with candlesticks is size, like big candle, small candle. But with Renko, it's speed of bricks. It's another dimension that people don't really pay attention to. But we want to enter on speed, or against the speed, sorry, the speed of the move. So that these boys are making everyone feel safe at 800. So everyone's trying to buy the big figure here. 5-minute is about to form a swing low, and that's all they were trying to do here. They need to form a swing low in order to go, in order to eventually liquidate or move lower. There was no swing low on the 5-minute chart, so now they're about to form one here in 2.5 minutes. So all this is really meant to build structure here on the higher time frame. So let's see. There's price trying to reclaim here. Are we going to get a pop of these highs? Are they going to reclaim this breakout level at 837? There's the dot. Let's see what happens with that dot. Let's see what happens with the dot. There's buying volume coming in. Got these bubbles beginning to pop up here. 135 contracts executed. And then we got some GEX up top at 900s. Feels good. Feels like they're going to want to take it out. They took out these highs here. But I don't know. We're getting speedy at the highs. Last time we rejected was up here at 890s. What is that chart there? It's the Renko chart. There it is, right there, 890s. Got some crude weakness, some oil weakness in price. Lower gas prices. Okay. Let's see if the buyers here who bought are going to defend. This is bubble right here. Let's see if they're going to give us if sellers are about to get clipped here on this move. That's a pullback. It should technically hold if this is going to be a confirmed move up. I don't know, though. I don't really trust it, so I'm not going to buy it. Why don't I want to buy it? I don't want to buy it because price has failed repeatedly at 875 today. There's the dot. So this is a warning sign. Let's see if the buyer's going to be able to reclaim here. Got a 15-minute candle opening in 2 minutes. I would be very cautious. Watch that 850. They're taking it back up above. Let's see if they use this GEX level here as support. Next GEX, got small GEX here at 75s, bigger GEX up at 900s, major GEX at 953. That could be the magnet for price. There's the break. That would be the continuation move, gang. If this fails now, I will probably get short under 50s. So I'm watching this area right here. If this fails, right, I'd be looking for this M pattern or an M break using 50 as that level, but nothing yet. We're still seeing price stay firm. Price is firming up here at these highs. 30 seconds left for the 15-minute candle. We've got an inside bar on the 1 minute. So we have a 2 up inside. Now we have a fail 2. These boys are trapping heavy on the 1 minute chart. Let's see if they're going to be able to bust through 75s and close above. We have not closed above 75. So watch the body closures, gang. That's important. Tells the story. Look at the 75 level here. They closed it up here once. They failed to close here again. And then they try again. They tried once, twice, 3 times. 4 times. Let's see if they can do it now. Nasdaq is down. We're bearish, negative 1.3% on the session. There's the M pattern, but they're reclaiming 50. Watching 50 here to see if they're going to get back under on the book map now. Watch that 50. So if I was shorting, I'd be very cautious. There's a 50. I'm back in. I'm going to try. But 50 is my little line in the sand here, guys. Watch that 50. 60s would be probably the best stop. But they are reclaiming. Look at that. Let's see. Oh, we got a bid there at 35, 835s. Watching 50. There's an offer. It came in at 70. Can these boys take out that bid at 35? They cannot. They cannot. I'm tagged out on that trade, guys. I took that cut. So let's see now if they're going to squeeze through. Oh, that might be a continuation move. Let's watch. As a book map did, they did put an offer right here. So they tried to take it, but we could not stay under 50s. Yeah, we're inside this consolidation right now. They're trapping both sides. Got a Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. Let me take out the high, take out the low. We're in a Johnny Cage. Watch 50. Keep your eye on 50. Keep your eye on 50. We're breaking up. We're obviously breaking higher now, but I think that's going to be an important level here in the future. So we'll see what happens. Got a nice little overhead press, looks like. Let's see. Watch that 50 level. Are we going to get back under 50? No. Still 75s. Let's see them try. So buyers already tried the 75 level here and got back under. Let's see if they're going to get back above it right now. There we go. Here's the buyers trying 75. Can they get back above 75? There's been no closure on 75 yet. There's 50 again. We're going to defend 50 again. Market might be getting tired up here. Okay, there they go. There they go. There's speed up through the level. There's big buying coming in. Look at the bubbles. Big buyers. Got a flip there on the Renko chart. So buyers are now breaking out. We're in an upward rotation, but we need to see the 75 level accept. We can break the level, but we need to see them hold the level. We need to see a closure above the level. Okay, let's see. 5 minute is bullish, technically. We're forming these higher highs and a higher low. And now looks like we're about to form a new high. We're getting a new high here on the 5 minute. Okay. So it looks like that retest of that 50 level, they absorbed that seller. Now we're beginning to accept above 75 for the first time. So now we got that expansion there. Oof, look at that. Look at that, guys. So now we're up at 900s. Dow Jones is up 1%. ES is at today is actually at a high day. So ES is bullish. So pretty big recovery so far. So what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:18. So that 30-minute auction is pretty firm, pretty bullish right now. So just look at where price is. We've had the 10:30 candle close bullish, 11 o'clock a.m. candle pretty much bullish at the moment. So we'll just wait and see. Wait and see. We're now closing above the VWAP here of overnight. So we're now getting an hour extreme again. We took out all the liquidity, all the swing highs here. Now we're actually outside of our bands, holding 900s. And now we're beginning to consolidate here. So the question is, do they take it higher from here? Are they going to be able to take it higher from here? We got yesterday's low right overhead as well at 940s. And we got major positive GEX at 950. So that looks like that's where price wants to go. So when we get to this level, I'll be very curious to see if they're going to suppress the move, start suppressing price. But we are holding trend. Wow, big recovery there from that low at 10 o'clock. We're almost at today's RTH high, opening range high. Big recovery. Did anyone get that long? I did not get any of that long. I was trying to fade that move or get that short on a breakdown, thinking that maybe we would get continuation or some retest of the low. So, all good though. All good in the hood. Look at the volume here. Paper, it's okay. It's all good. All good. Long over 27,880s. Great entry there, buddy. On this break, looks like, huh? That's good. Now we got that volume coming out early at 940s. Hey, that's all you need there, man. That is a beautiful trade. You got it. Very nice. Good work, guys. Good work on that move. Yeah, it's pretty easy on the 5-minute looking at it, right? I mean, just look at a 5-minute chart. It's pretty straightforward. It just pulled back to the 9 moving average, pulled back to support at expected low at 770s, held, and then boom, that was it. Continuous movement up. Ooh. And so it created a higher high on the 5-minute, and now we're extending, and everything else is extending too, right? So everything's pretty much green, I think, on the session right now. Look at the book map here. So 950 is the level. Yeah, yes, did rip. It sure did. It sure did. Ooh, 500 contracts just got added to the offer at 990s, which was major. Oh, no, it's not major positive, is it? No, it's not. But 990s, 500 contracts. You know, I haven't seen large size on the book here throughout the on the NQ this week so far. Let's see if they're going to take it to 990s. How far away are we from major GEX, a major positive? Okay, we're forming another sideways consolidation here. Are we gonna get another extension? Is Trump still talking? Is that what's going on? Oh, look, they threw 200 contracts, 600 contracts. They're trying to suppress price here. Do you see the offers here being added on the book? And they're getting absorbed. They put 200 contracts, they bought it. Now there's 600 contracts right here at 27,980s. Let's see if they're going to be able to take that out as well. We're back under, what's this price here? 950s. We're still negative on the day for NQ. I'm still positive on the day. I'm still up 100 points on the session. But we're just watching now as we begin to start seeing some order flow interaction. Very important. This is actually really good. We want to see this, right? 980s. Now we can begin to start playing the game around what they're doing with the book, because we haven't really had significant size on the NQ yesterday that I'm aware of. Maybe we did, but maybe I finished too early. But right now, all session, I haven't seen 600 contracts or 500 contracts on the NQ. Yeah. So they filled that order here, that offer, and now we're basing here. And now let's see if you're going to probably come back down underneath one more time and then boom, take it back up. And maybe take out 980s and 990s. So it's pretty much setting up for a squeeze. Let's see if we get a squeeze. So if you guys are still long, you guys are probably be real fired up to get that squeeze. It makes sense too, you know, at 800s we have our put support. Put support literally right above these larger offers. We don't have the large offers showing up here on the MNQ, just only on NQ. Yes, we got a large offer as well, over 1,000 contracts on 747 Gex 3 right now. Refresh that real quick. So ES right there, 1,000 plus contracts, 500 contracts. So we'll see how they deal with this if they squeeze through that. That could be used as a catalyst for a nice little squeeze. Buyers stepping in here on the NQ. Let's see if they take out that offer. I'm watching the action. It's very important to watch how it deals. Look, they're holding that level there. Wow. They reloaded there at 611. I'm sorry, it's at 980s. Keep your eye right here. You're watching there. Wow, they pulled it. They pulled the order. They pulled the order. They canceled it, created a vacuum. Now we go to the next level, 990s. Let's see if they're going to go to 990s. They pulled that one too. They pulled all the offers, guys. So they're all fake moves. Look, my platform froze. What the hell? And then they put a bid here. Book flip 240. Let's see if they hit that bid. And then that might be a possible failure. They may end up using this to pull price back down. So we'll see how they handle this bid here. They filled the bid. So you got the sellers now active. Let's see. Does this lead to a squeeze now, or do we see price end up beginning to break down or exhaust up in here? Okay, there's the buying coming in. Price is like moving mechanically, so it's very organized right now and structured. So you got to watch out with mean reversion, because right now the market is one directional. So levels are going to fail, patterns are going to fail if you're going against this move. This is actually really good to watch and observe. If you're long, you're in a very good position right now, because you've got the order flow really confirming. Obviously, everything's confirming: price action, trend, momentum, every indicator, everything's confirming right now. So we're at put support again. Good work. Good work, Mike. 3 for 3. Are you going for? Are you trying to hit your 100 points a day as well? That's pretty much what the challenge is, right? It's like, how many days, you know, can we go hit 100 points? 100 points. Obviously, can't do it every day. I got break even yesterday, but that's the challenge that we're playing right now. If you want to be part of that challenge, you know, jump into the Discord and we'll start playing that game. 100 points a day challenge. See if you can do it for 90 days. Change your life. If you can do it for 90 days, I mean, you can pretty much. I mean, you know, if you can do it for 90 days, you're a gangster. Okay, let's watch the 75 level here. All this buying, right? All this buying. Be careful now, guys. Remember how they pulled those offers. So let's see. They need to defend that 50 level when we get back to it. But I'd be very cautious as we begin to start exhausting here. Kind of watching. So above 75s, we've got a lot of trap buyers here. See the big buying here? All feel like 50, 50, 50, 50. Then we got some selling. But these guys could still rip this higher, right? It could just be a pullback, double bottom, and go. So, yeah, cool. So just what you want to do is, obviously, most folks are already using some type of trade journal. If you're using our journal, DHQ journal, just make sure you plug in your trades, do your report card. We're going to be updating some things on there, because I'll actually be looking at your report card. You know, so we can actually take a look, and then you just kind of see who wins, see who's able to be consistent. I mean, that's awesome. You get consistency. And what's the reward? Oh, you'll probably be making some money. The reward is money. So I can give you a gold star, but I think you guys probably prefer to get paid, right? Make money. So, What's going on? Is something going on with Trump? I mean, I don't have I'm kind of not wanting to move my charts. I want to just kind of stay locked into what's going on, but it seems like something. I think Trump was talking at 11 o'clock. All right, let's see if these guys are going to be able to keep sustaining the move. If we get back under 50, remember that 50 level I talked about? Then if we break under 50, hold under 50, then I expect a retest of 777, 27,777, which is our expected low. But, you know, if we cannot do that, then we continue to firm up and stay bullish. But we'll see. 1 minute left for the 30-minute candle to close. And then for those folks who are using or learning the indicators or learning the system that we have, I think it's also really good that, you know, I want to be able to see how many folks can learn this and start using it to get 100 points a day. I know what I can do. I know what I've been able to do. You see me do it almost every single day on these live streams. Not every day, but I'd say 80% of the time I'm catching these trades. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, I did see that on the news thing. Let's see. 11:30, do we get a continuation move here? Every 30 minutes, it's either going to go directional right away, it's going to go two-way until it gets directional. It's the same thing again and again. Yeah, this is about the time I wrap it up here for the stream. We technically hit the goal earlier, like at 10:08. But we hung around, took a few more trades, got it up to like 130, 140 points, then took some cuts. So now we're sitting like right at 100 points of profit after commissions. And then let's see. Nice little failure there. Waiting. I'm watching that 950 level. So yeah, put support there, resistance at 28,000s. We know that's a big level. But let's see. ES is also beginning to try to get some pullback going here at 67s. The question is, can they succeed? Can the buyers succeed in holding and maintaining a pullback? Can they succeed? So far, 50 still acting as support. Fifty still being defended here. Getting back above 75s. Solid. Do you have a recommended ATM set at TP 45 SL80 ticks? What settings do you have? Not really. I mean, I just use like 60 tick stop loss and then 100 tick take profit, but I never let it go that. Like I use my levels, so I'll just put my stop loss at a invalidation point, like a level. So for instance, if I was short, like right here, if I got short on this, my stop loss would be probably above the 800 level. If I got short down here, or if I got long, but I'm not going to get long, but if I got long here on, I'll say a move, then my stop would be under 75s, right? So maybe that's what I'll do. Let's see. Feels like they're going to trap ass here. So if I got long right there, I put my stop literally like maybe underneath the opening print or underneath this since we're right below the level, I'll just keep my stop right there. But then I watch Bookmap just to make sure, you know what I'm saying? So I'm watching Bookmap. As soon as I start seeing sellers start pressing, then I'll get out. Yeah. See how the sellers are beginning to hold price here at this level. Buyers can't get away from it. Yeah. And we're back under the level. I'm out. I'll cut that trade right away. Don't need to stay in it. And then it reclaims again, then it goes. I didn't really like that trade anyways, but yeah. So that's how I would use my stop loss. 100%. That's why you want the hotkeys. The hotkeys help you trail correctly, go break even correctly, all that stuff. I use hotkeys to actually execute the trades, which you're familiar with the hotkeys. You were using it before, but we simplified them now. There's only like 3 type of buttons that we use. So notice how we're seeing above 75, right? So if I was long, I would not want price back below 75. So that initial idea would have worked out perfectly fine if I kept my stop right under the band here, that green line. But I don't really want to be buying these highs right now and to put support. So yeah, we've ramped all the tools, so everything's more streamlined and easy, much easier, much easier. The dashboard is crazy. I can't wait for we're finishing out this last. We've been building this thing for like a couple weeks now, or we're building a entire data engine that's going to be connected to AI, and I feel like it's going to be really good. It's going to be really helpful. These guys are gonna freaking rip here. What are they gonna do here? They're trying to base here 75s. If I was long, I wouldn't want price back under 75. Let's see, they're gonna hold 70. They're holding 75. You're trying to get to 75. Boom. What you should consider, Abe, is bookmap, man. You should consider getting the bookmap stuff. The bookmap is a critical part of stop losses, execution, and stuff like that. So you can literally see, like right here, large bubbles, large selling came in at 75 and they could not get underneath. And if we zoom into that area, you'll see that there was like literally no volume there. So there's no volume at a level, it's going to go the other way. So buyers are buying here. They're still participating up above 800. So they're still buying above this level. Okay. Let's see if they continue to press. They're still active. So if I was shorting, I wouldn't want to be short here. I would not want to short this level. Look, the buyers are just like, we're still here, guys. We have no problem buying at this level. Then the sellers are trying, they're just defending back and forth. Someone's going to give up and it's going to get one-sided. Obviously, we can tell it's pretty bullish, so it's going to probably squeeze. Yeah, bookmap is pretty good stuff if you know how to use it correctly. Pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of different platforms out there that do the heat map thing. I mean, I even NinjaTrader, I have like 10 variations of heat maps for my NinjaTrader. I just find that none of them are really that good, and they create a lot of lag on my machine. Um, I do like the native NinjaTrader heat map, to be honest. It's actually the best one. That's one I used for years. But I actually don't need it. I don't really need it because now I have my own little way of looking at it, which is liquidity levels indicator. So you see right here, it says bid. I don't need my actual whole chart to have like all the heat map stuff. So I just literally see, okay, there's 121 contracts up here, 111 here, 105 here, and then I have my labels here just to help me see it, combine it with big trades, and that's pretty much good to go. Pretty much good to go. So let's see if these boys can squeeze the 800s. 800s now acting as support. ES looks like it's about to take out some offers around 780s. They're playing with size on the ES today. Buyers here, watch again. Oh, they're back under 800s. If I was shorting this, I would not want price back above 800, right? I'll try it. Let's see what happens. I would not want price above 800s, but they are cranking up here. They're still holding, absorbing every move down. There's a bid. There's 800s. Get back under. Can they get back under? Can we get back under? They are staying bullish above 800s. Sellers got absorbed on that move down, but I'm watching here. They just squeezed out. Still possible to get back under, but I don't know. Market's pretty bullish. They're holding that 800 to support. Are they going to squeeze through? There's a squeeze. They are supporting price here with our positive GEX as well. They may pump into the ask at 28,025s next. That to this ask? Oh no, 50s is the level. Yeah, everything's moving, man. Everything, the whole market's moving up. Everything is squeezing higher and higher and higher. But we're gonna put support. We've been resisting here the entire time. I'm just waiting to see if they're gonna actually accept this level. They're gonna take out the overnight high. 1 minute, they've closed through it on the 1 minute chart. And we've actually, the sellers failed to get price back under, and they closed right back above it right here. So you can see this was the attempt by the sellers to try to get price back under 800s. Buyers said nope. And now we're seeing them try again. So sellers are trying twice. If they fail here again, we probably get that squeeze up now to the next level, which would be 28,031. So strong trend day now. It's become a strong trend move, but we can't forget the fact that higher time frame, we're just in a range still, right? We're still in that range on the hourly right here. So we basically pulled back. Let's go to the hourly chart into this range. Now, I'm not saying that we can't break out from this range, but this is the range right there, that box. Okay. So what they did was they broke out, and now they're breaking back in, and now they may rotate to the other side. And if they do, then it makes sense where we might go and see price start targeting 250s by tomorrow if they can actually accept above 800. So on the hourly chart, this is what would need to take place. We would need to see price get above, stay above, hold 800s, build value and acceptance, and then boom, spike up to 825s. And if that's the case, then this becomes one of these reversal scenarios where you consolidate here, trap low, breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, breakout. And then if that's the case, they start targeting this guy right there, that swing high, and that swing high right here. 800 is beginning to fail again, guys. Try one more time. Maybe try one last time. What do you think? Should we try one last time? I don't know. 800s, they keep propping it. Let's wait and see what happens here. Give it a shot here. Let's see if they're going to be able to stay under 800s. Watch that 800 level. They're still holding. There's no breakdown of structure yet. We're kind of grinding here, so he's got to be careful. We haven't had any speed to the upside yet. Actually, it's all been speed. They're still holding at 800, under 800 right now. Let's see if they're going to stay heavy under 800s. Are they going to stay heavy under 800s? Nope, they're back above 800s. And they are squeezing again here above 800s. Yeah. Look at the book map. Sorry, I thought I had the book map on. Just watching. Okay, look at that 800. I'm going to try one last time here, but it seems like they are trying to pin this level. So I'm going to try one last shot, but I know the market's extremely bullish, so it's probably not going to work out, guys. And there's no actual confirmation either. There was no structural break, but I'm just going to try this level as we are rotating in and around this level right now. Buyers are going to try to clap right here. Let's see if they're going to be able to. There's that book map. We're back under 800, so they're going to get back up below. I'm in it short right now, but it doesn't feel, it feels flaky. It feels pretty flaky. But if it does work, we'll be targeting 27,777 if it does work. So far, it's not doing, it doesn't look like it's going to work because we're still pinning, we're staying sticky at that level, which is, it's expected. It's expected to be that we stay sticky there. But I'm in short right now, so we'll see if they're going to be able to stay under 800s or if they're going to just squeeze and clap right here. And it looks like they're about to squeeze. 50 tick stopped out. Okay, guess what, guys? I need to wrap it up because I'm going to be fighting this thing and turn my day from green to red, which we do not want to do. So I did give back some of the profit, to be honest, guys. I did give back some of the profit, so I'm not sitting on 100 points right now of profit. But it's all good because we're still technically green over 50 points of profit. But that's me being a little stubborn here, trying to catch that breakdown of 800s. So all good, though. It's that time of day. Let the price do what it's going to do. Usually around this time is when I want to stop anyways, take a break. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. You guys have a great rest of your session, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.